In an age of high-tech warfare, it's easy to forget about self-propelled cannons like howitzers. However, as the conflict in Ukraine has shown, these weapons are still crucial on the battlefield. They allow armies to fire at the enemy with huge amounts of power and from massive distances. Now there's a howitzer with an increased range, courtesy of the US Army, that takes this weapon to the next level. Let's take a closer look at the M1299. But before we get started, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more just like it, remember to give us a like and subscribe to Military World to get more sent straight to your notifications. In recent years, threats to the US, Russia, and China have developed their howitzers beyond that of which the US is capable. Instead, they were left with the M109A6 and M109A7 systems, which have a lesser range than that of US adversaries. The XM2001 was supposed to be a cutting-edge system to address this growing problem, but this project was cancelled in 2002 and left a reliance on the upgraded versions of the aging M109 155mm howitzer. This weapon had originally been developed back in 1963, so what the US was left with was a howitzer that was papering over the cracks. The M109 was used in Vietnam in 1966, but it experienced massive mechanical problems that couldn't be repaired on site. The howitzers were recalled and underwent the first of many redesigns and upgrades that have kept the need for a new howitzer at bay until now. The M109 has been used by both the US and its allies in the Gulf War, the Iraq War, and even by Iran in the Iran-Iraq War. How it compares to the new M1299 offering is that the old M109 can move as fast as the new howitzer, but has a maximum rate of fire of only 4 rounds per minute in comparison to 10. To solve the issues with the upgraded M109, a new long-range self-propelled howitzer was proposed as part of the Extended Range Cannon Artillery, or ERCA, program. The Extended Range Cannon Artillery was set up to push the envelope in terms of maximum range for tactical units, meaning division and brigade-level forces. The first prototype was due to arrive in 2019, with soldier feedback to improve later prototypes. 2023 was the target date to have a new long-range howitzer in place. The start of this long-range cannon project was the M777 Extended Range Howitzer project. This was a 2014 prototyping initiative to significantly extend the range of the currently fielded M777A2 variant. This involved the incorporation of a longer cannon tube for extended range firing, a more efficient muzzle brake to minimize blast overpressure on the gun crew, a reinforced recoil yoke for higher firing loads, longer road arms to compensate for the increased tube length, an upgraded recoil system for extended range charges, and upgrades to the balancer system. All of these parts could be retrofitted onto current howitzers at the time. The ERCA program evolved to include this new howitzer and improved extended range ammunition. The $45 million contract to design the howitzer was given to BAE Systems. Originally, the weapon was unofficially named M109A8, but this was updated in 2019 when it was officially redesignated as the XM1299. Development of the weapon has shown it to outclass the US Army's previous howitzers in terms of range, rate of fire, area coverage, lethality, and survivability, amongst other factors. After several rounds of testing, the howitzer is due to enter service imminently. The M1299 uses the racked chassis of the M109A7 self-propelled howitzer, which has been made since 2018. It also has a similar weight. But the M1299 isn't an upgrade. It's a new weapon in its own right, with its fully new artillery system, fitted with a new turret, new chassis, new XM907 cannon, new XM208 gun mount, and new automatic ammunition handling system, with several other new systems. The M1299 uses a new XM907 155mm L58 cannon. This 58 caliber cannon is far longer than the 39 caliber cannon seen on the platform on which it was based, the M109A7. This helps to produce an increased range from this weapon. It has an increased range from 19 to 25 miles on the M109A7, Instead, the new M1299 can fire to around 31 miles with standard projectiles and over 43 miles with its new M1113 rocket-assisted projectiles. This kind of range brings it up to speed with various self-propelled howitzers around the world. A South African G652 has a maximum range of 42 miles using its own version of special rocket-assisted projectiles. This South African system was first seen in 2003. The cancelled US XM-2001 Crusader we mentioned earlier in the video was also capable of a 31 to 43 mile range. But more importantly, the M1299 rivals the efforts of Russia and China. Another modern self-propelled howitzer which can reach 43 miles is the Russian TS-35 HOWITZER SV. China has claimed that the recent PLZ-52 howitzer can reach 62 miles, but this hasn't been validated by evidence. The M1299 howitzer will be operated by a crew of 4: commander, gunner, loader, and driver. Along with the M109A7, it also shares some commonality with the M2 Bradley in terms of engine, transmission, tracks, and other components. The similarities also offer a reduction in production, operating, and maintenance costs. To move into position, the M1299 is powered by a Cummins diesel engine producing 600 horsepower. An exciting development is the rocket-assisted projectile that we mentioned earlier. This is the new XM1113. In June 2019, General Dynamics Ordnance and Tactical Systems awarded a contract for prototype and process development for these rounds. General Dynamics is partnered with American Ordnance, Namo Tally, and Savit in the US. The XM1113 RAP uses the latest rocket technology to boost greater thrust to the round when compared to its predecessor, the M549A1. This gives it the ability to achieve a 30% increased distance from its predecessor. When fired from the M1299, the XM1113 will push the 43-mile range to make it a rival to the best-in-class systems the world over. This impressive new round is part of the U.S. Army's modernization initiative under the Long Range Precision Fires Cross-Functional Team. The XM1115 is another new guided projectile that is due to be used by the M1299 in the future. This takes into account modern threats and uses GPS data to provide guidance. This will let the weapon hit targets with high precision in spite of enemy electronic warfare and satellite signals. This has been designed to reach a range of 62 to 74 miles and possibly more. The XM1155 has tail rocket motors and large tail control surfaces and looks more like a rocket rather than a standard artillery projectile. This projectile gets propelled to a high altitude where the drag is lower and then glides towards its target. The M1299 has a fully automatic ammunition loading system. This can load both projectiles and charges. This loading system has increased the rate of fire seen on the M109A7 from 4 to 10 rounds per minute on the M1299. On top of this massive improvement, this howitzer can also achieve multiple round simultaneous impact firing. This means that it can fire 8 projectiles at the same time to land on a target simultaneously. This gives it the same rate of fire to that of 2 or 3 M109A7 howitzers. In terms of additional weaponry, the XM1299 has a provision for a roof-mounted 12.7mm heavy machine gun. The production version of the howitzer is equipped with a remotely controlled weapon station, armed with either the 12.7mm gun or 40mm automatic grenade launcher. The weapon has already proved to be impressive on testing. During a firing test at Yuma Proving Ground in Arizona in 2019, the gun nailed targets with pinpoint accuracy at a range of 38 miles. This greatly exceeded the M109A7 Paladin with its maximum firing range of 19 miles. The U.S. Army has ordered 18 M1299s from BAE Systems, and they are planned to enter service alongside the M109A7, which is already in operation with the U.S. Army. The M1299 represents a potential for the greatest range that has ever been seen from a howitzer in the world. If all is successful with future projectiles, then rivals of the US will need to be wary that they can be outgunned by the weapon from a safe distance. What are your thoughts on the M1299? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to Military World to get our latest videos straight to your notifications.